Amakhosi Network, welcome to the channel. You are now officially chatting to CAF Confederation participants for the next season. But anyway, let's chat about the Chippa United game and what we expect to see. Because the last time we played Chippa United, we actually had one of our better games of the season. I think we had solid performance in that game. But yeah, Chippa United. Early 3 points. So we need to beat Chippa United. Chippa United is behind us. I think they have some game in hands. So if we beat them, we continue to solidify ourselves in. I know a lot of people are still pushing for top 8, but now it's also survival mode because we are like 6 points away from relegation. So we can't afford to drop even at 1 point. Like, actually, it's 1 point. We can't afford to drop 3 points. In our last 5 games, we need to at least have 3 wins, and Chippa United has to be. It has to be one of the people we get this 3 points from, because Chippa United is a team that is at the bottom. So we need to ensure that these last few teams that are at the bottom that we are going to be playing, that we get 3 points from. So, Operation Fat 3 points from Chippa United is on, but let's chat about the starting lineup. But before we get into the starting lineup, please like, comment, and subscribe. Subscribe, guys. Please subscribe. But let's get into it. Chippa United starting lineup. Bruce Bvuma, there has been no reason for them to change him at this point. Even though Peterson is starting to be a goalkeeper coach or whatever he is. But yeah, Bruce has done enough, I think, for him to keep his starting lineup, even though he has still been conceding soft goals, which is one of the reasons why next season we need one of the top points, out of the top positions we need to sign a player is probably a goalkeeper. If you were up to me, there would be about 10 players that I think Chiefs would need to sign. And those 10 players are 2 goalkeepers. So 2 other goalkeepers we have in our position have to go, unless they are going to be promoting Dakalani and they want to still keep Ubvuma. So if they're going to do that, then it may be best that they just add 1 star quality keeper. But Ntwari has to go. He's a waste of a foreign spot. He definitely has to go. Has to. Like, I don't know how I can stress this more, but Ntwari has to go. The Peterson one is a difficult one. I think they might keep him. But if they're going to keep Peterson, then I don't know. But anyway, we'll see how that happens. Another position that is very important is we need 2 strikers, deadly strikers, goal-scoring strikers. We need midfield like Ofi Toto, Faisal Saloom, which makes it 5. We need a left back, which is probably going to be the guy from Simba. Some people are still thinking that we need a right back because Frosler and Solomon's people are not too comfortable with. It's probably going to be Mabuya from Richards Bay, from what I'm seeing. It's probably going to be him. And then maybe 1 or 2 additional forward attacking players. So we need about 10 players to really change the squad around. But yeah, let's go. Left back will probably still be Cross. I'm gonna explain to you why playing Cross is going to be very different from what you guys know against Sundowns, because a lot of you easily say yes, Cross had a good performance. A lot of you easily say yes, MAART had a good performance. But I sometimes want you guys to understand something. But I'll explain this at the end. Then center back will probably still be Dove and Msimango, right back, Solomon's, midfield, Tabotele, if he's still okay, because there's a chance they may not start him because it looks like he's carrying a knock. So chances are Matlo won't start. Matlo will start, and then MAART will start. So MAART, I think, will definitely start, but the Matlo one is going to be an interesting one to see if Matlo will start ahead of Tabotele because of Thabo Cele is carrying a knock that he seems very uncomfortable with, and he struggles to get. He's just looking like he's struggling. I don't know if he's recovering, but he doesn't look like he's doing well with this knock that he's carrying. Because we saw a lot of the times against Sundowns, he sat down on the pitch because it was hurting him. But he plays for the badge, but you don't want a player playing for the badge to end up having a long-term injury or be out, and then we don't have him for important games and stuff. Not to say Chippa is not important. Chippa is very important. So if he's healthy, he starts. Sereno will still play. I think Modi will still start. I think Duba definitely start, and Lollipop will start. A lot of fans have actually been asking that maybe Lollipop starts from the bench in this coming game because he's just been off. So a lot of people have been asking for maybe Vilakazi to be given a start just to rest Ulilepo. So I can't really fault that because Lollipop has been poor. The only thing about Lollipop is that he gives us a presence in terms of heading. When it's corner set pieces, he gives us an additional presence because he's a solid header of the ball. So sometimes you just want him on the field because you're hoping that he can get something to knock it in the pole if it's a corner or whatever the case may be. But if Vilakazi does that, I still think it will be good for us. Now, some of you may be asking the question, what do I mean that playing cross and playing MAART will actually not look like the Sundowns game? And a lot of you are like, when unomona, you jealous, you are the problem. Why, manje, you're not supporting MAART or supporting cross and stuff like that? I'm like, guys, there's something you need to understand. There are two games that are at play. There's a defensive game and there's an attacking game. When we play Sundowns, we shift into a defensive game, meaning that we don't have the ball. We give the ball to Sundowns, and then when we get the ball, we hit Sundowns on breaks, meaning that we take the ball, we use Abo Modi, we use Abo Sereno, we try hit them on quick breaks, or we pick up from their mistakes and we score. And that's similar to, or we score set pieces. Those are where our goals are going to come from. So it's also like some sort of transition football. Now, the thing about the defensive game is that the defensive game, how it's structured, works better for players like MAART. It works better for players like Cross because their primary job is to defend. And because their primary job is to defend, they don't need to support the attack in a very big way. They just have to defend past the nearest player and the job is done. And that is the majority of the game, they don't even have the ball. They're closing down players, they're marking players, they're kicking balls away. That is the game. And in that game, as a left back, you're not going to find yourself a lot of the time standing at the halfway line. You're oftentimes going to be between the halfway line and the 18-yard box. So you're going to be in between there, but you're going to be sitting deeper than you would in most games. And that's what happened with Abo Cross. Abo Cross ended up sitting up a lot deeper in that game against Sundowns because we were playing a defensive game. It was a game where you don't want to play too attacking with Sundowns because then if you stretch yourself too much, you open too many pockets for Sundowns and that's where they hurt you. So that's number one. Number two, MAART. MAART also had the responsibility of playing a very, very defensive game, meaning that you would not find MAART running into the 18-yard box of Sundowns. You would not find MAART on the left or the right. MAART was primarily in the middle doing a midfield shift, and he was not doing it alone. It was a collective shift because that midfield shift consists of Thabo Cele, it consists of Modi, it consists of Lilepo. It was a team effort. The team defended as a team. That's why you wouldn't see MAART out of position because in previous games, we would concede the ball and we would always see MAART being out of position because he was joining attack. And then because he's joining attack or he's getting too excited on the ball, teams just put the ball behind him and they score. Now, why am I saying this will be different when you now look at a more an attacking option? When we play a team like Chippa United, similar to how things looked for Golden Arrow, similar to how things look for Richards Bay, these guys don't want the ball. So they give you the ball. And because they give you the ball, and a lot of the times these guys, when they come to Chiefs, they are happy to get a draw. But because we are Chiefs, we're not happy for a draw. We want 3 points. So then they make it your job to earn your 3 points, and they are content whether they're going to get that 1 point. Because for in their world, they know where they're going to get the 3 points. They're going to get the 3 points from about Richards Bay, Pulukwan. These are the teams that they feel that they can definitely get 3 points from. But from you, they would want at least 1 point, and if they get 3 points, it's going to be from a transition, a breakaway, and all those things. And then when that happens, how does it expose Chiefs? It exposed Chiefs from the fact that when we're on the front foot and we have the ball, we tend to find ourselves playing a high line. When we play a high line, these guys put their fastest players on the wings and stuff, and then they start hitting long balls. Their defenders get the ball as soon as they mark the ball from us, and they hit long balls. And then Miguel is late, Msimango is late. It always happens that way. Oh, another thing is that I don't know if Miguel will be healthy, but I don't think Nabi is going to change things right now. But anyway, so what tends to happen is that these guys hit us with long balls because of our high line. And the high line is Nabi and them try to build a high line because what they've realized as also at times is that when we play too much of a deep line, there's too much space between our defenders and our midfielders. And they feel like our midfielders can't cover that space enough, which is why when you play that kind of deep lying, low block midfield, you kind of have to have a Tetwa there whose business is to close down any weird runs by players. But what this happens, and this goes to the MAART and Cross situation, is that Cross then gets exposed by those long balls. Cross then gets exposed by these fast wingers because, number one, he doesn't have the support of Amakhosi. Amakhosi are far up the pitch because they were just attacking the team. So they don't have enough time to come back. So he doesn't have the support of Amakhosi. Sometimes he doesn't even have the support of our MAART, Nabotabotele. He has to find a way to hold these guys until MAART and Nabotabotele are able to recover. But by the time these guys recover, the ball is usually in the back of the net. Similar with MAART. When the game is like that, MAART is always behind because MAART is erratic. He runs everywhere on the pitch. He tries to be the best midfielder in attack and he tries to be the best defender. But when he's doing all of these things, he loses the plot somewhere and he gets lost. And when he gets lost, he ends up chasing shadows and he's out of position. The difference as to why Tabotele doesn't do all of those things, that Tabotele doesn't just make a run that is unnecessary. Tabotele scans his position in the midfield to understand that if I release this ball or if I make this deep run, can I recover from this deep run? MAART and them don't have the awareness to make these decisions in the game. So it tends to backfire. All the hard work they put in marking the ball backfires when they start going into attack and get lost. Now, that's what I'm talking about, that our attack, when we are given the ball to attack, it often starts to expose our quality because our quality is exposed in this moment because when you are stretched as a team, the individuals have to have minimum mistakes and the individuals need to know how to position themselves. They need to know how to move from this area. They need to know how to guide a player. They need to know how, if there's a long ball, for example, if Msimango makes the wrong jump in that long ball and he misses at times his header, the striker that was there is getting a one-on-one. If Cross tries to, like we saw with Edmondson Dover the other week, if Edmondson Dover or Cross and them try to slide tackle a winger and they miss that guy. That guy is going to get past them and he's going to come and give these guys a tap in, like Abo Nox Mtizo and stuff like that. And that's the problem with the two games. Now, a lot of you are going to say, but can't we play the Sundowns game versus these other teams? And the answer is probably going to be, you can try, but these teams don't want the ball. So a lot of the times you will also see for yourself, you will have the ball most of the time. And when the moment they see you have the ball, they run away from from your side of the field. They go into defense. So they run all the way into the 18-yard area to defend. Then what you find is that you end up finding yourself playing a possession game, because now when you have the ball, you have to do something. You can't just give it to them and say, come attack me, I'm going to hit you on transition. Like, these teams are not built like that. They want you to have the ball. So that's why I'm like, that's the difficult part of what we will see in a shift in performance from MAART and Cross. Am I wishing them bad? No, but these are the observations of why they play better when they play Sundowns, even an Orlando Pirates. That's why we have a chance with Orlando Pirates, is because we play that game. And another point that a lot of you guys don't maybe miss a lot of the times is that MAART Cross, Abom Simango, Edmilson Dove, Abomodi, all of these players, the reason why they are good at the defensive game and hitting teams on transition, there's one reason, because they come from smaller teams that play that exact game. When you play for Golden Arrows, you play Chiefs that exact way. When you play for Sekhukhune, you play Chiefs that the exact way. So what tends to happen is Kaizer Chiefs tends to sign these guys in their teams because they star players. But in their teams, they play transition football in that team. They play a very defensive and hit the team on a counter. And then when they come to Chiefs finds itself as a team that is forced by the opposition, especially the smaller ones, to be the ball-playing team and the team that has the ball. And what tends to happen is that then exposes Abo MAART, Abo Cross, Abo Modi, and all these guys, because from where they come from, they weren't expected to play that game. Even Dupree, when he came from Stellenbosch, it was transition football. It was not the way Stellenbosch is playing right now, when you see them playing more possession-like game. They used to play a very transition-like football. So that's why I'm saying, if you see these guys doing well from a defensive setup, know that is what Chiefs actually signed them for. That is the profile of what they were before they joined Chiefs. So that is the exact type of football that made them look like good players before Chiefs signed them. But because you are in Chiefs and all other teams are scared, or let's say respect Chiefs, they give Chiefs the ball. And the moment they give you the ball, if on a plan, you get exposed. Amakhosi.